Did you know that composition isn't just visual? It's deeply, deeply subconscious. The secret of creating photographs that leave people in awe lies hidden in the power of subconscious composition. Are you using it to connect with your audience and help them fall in love with your work? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can leverage the power of subconscious composition so that people will stop in their tracks and they'll say, wow. All right, guys, let's get into it. Hey guys, this is Ijaz. I am a fashion and a wildlife photographer here in New York. After shooting for designers, magazines, art galleries, fine art prints, I have realized that we have a tendency of making photography difficult. Let's break it down. Let's make it super easy. Make it simple in your mind first, and everything else will fall into place. Guys, let's make photography easy. So point number one, the power of natural visual flow. Before going out on a shoot, I always think about the natural things our brains do. One of the things that our brain does all the time is that it follows patterns. Human beings are just pattern magnets, right? We love to see patterns. Why not, as photographers, take advantage of patterns? We follow lines, circles, curves, and we do that without even thinking. Our gaze follows a pattern. So why not leverage that? Why not take advantage of that? Look at this photograph. The coloring of the entire photograph is almost one tone. But then when I throw the silver streak on it, it's an uneven pattern. And you're following that to go straight into the model's eye. Now look at this one. You're following the line. Look at the line of her leg. It's leading you straight to her face. Look at the car door. Is leading you straight to her face, and that is so subconsciously, like we are not thinking that it's leading us there, and we're not thinking that the silver thing is throwing you up into her eyes. We're not. What are we doing? We're just going straight to where our subconscious mind is taking us, and the mind is taking us because of those patterns in the photograph. So let's look at this wildlife photograph. Where is your eye going? The eye is going straight into the horse's face, right? Why is it going into the horse's face? Because I have created those lines which is subconsciously sending you there. Your eyes just effortlessly goes towards the horse's face, and that's what I would like my audience to do. Let's talk about this wolf image. If you look, there is a mountain at the back which is a little bit darker, and your eye is starting from there and it's going all the way to your first wolf, and then the first wolf is sending it back to the wolf that is in focus. That is a pattern. It's a subconscious pattern. Did I do that while I was on set? I had literally 7 minutes to do that. Did I have that in mind? Yeah, of course I had that in mind, because when I saw the wolves and I jumped out of my snowmobile and I picked up the camera, the first thing I see the background. Yes, of course, I look at the subject and I keep in mind a good check in my mind where the subject is, but then the second thing is background. I want to know the background, and the reason why I want to know background for subconscious composition, so I can send lines into my subject, or I can place them, like move myself in a position where the lines are going into the subject or helping me in one way, one form or the other, because of our subconscious mind that has a habit of picking up patterns. You know, once you have a pattern aligned in your photograph, you have it. You have the photograph. It's going to make it so easy for your audience to just say, wow, I like this. And they won't even know why they like it, right? They just like it because it's easy. You're directing their gaze, you're directing their view, you're directing them throughout the frame of your photograph. And that is the power of subconscious composition. So now let's look at this other wildlife photograph, right? So I am using subconscious composition to help my viewer go directly to the bullseye. So what is it? In this particular case, it's the bull's horn. The bull's horns are leading you straight into the bull's eye. And once you reach the bull's eye, then it lets you travel all throughout the bull's body. And the reason why you get hung up on that is because of your subconscious brain. Your subconscious is literally, it's like a funnel pulling you in, and then it's sending you to wherever the photographer, in this case it's me, wants you to see. That is the power of subconscious composition. Think about it before your shoots, and you will be much better photographer. Point number 2 in subconscious composition is you must keep in mind the balance and symmetry of a photograph. Like, look at this Arctic wolf. So it's so balanced, like right matches the left, right? Look at his eyes, look at his nose, everything is perfect. What you see is on the left side is what you see on the right side. Now that is naturally a human being's behavior, right? We love balance, we love symmetry. Now let me show you another photograph which is in fashion, of course, but it's also balanced. You see the symmetry. When the model threw her hands up, it's almost like a butterfly, right? One side kind of matches the other side, and that is the balance. That is the symmetry that visually our minds go and get attracted to. So look at this photograph, guys. Your right side versus the left side of the model's hair. I mean, look how balanced it is. Look how symmetrical it is. That is so pleasing. And then you get straight into the model's eye. And the reason why we do that without any effort, that is the power of balance and symmetry. Guys, look at this one. This was in Yellowstone. It was in the early days of my wildlife career, so I kind of ignorantly just walked towards this bison thinking, hey, there's a lot of snow, he'll never be able to run fast enough towards me. So here I am about, say, 30 feet away from the bison, and I do have a wider lens, and I'm trying to get this symmetry to be perfect in the middle of the frame, so this way the right and the left look the same. I mean, of course, the background is different and I cannot help it, but I tried to make the background line almost the same. And then I stood right there and took a photograph, and there it was. And look how easy it is to view this. It's an easy viewing image. So when you go for balance and symmetry, try to think like an audience. How does it make it easy for them? Easy is the key word here. The easier you make it for them with the balance, the better it's going to be. The other thing that you must keep in mind is contrast and color. That again is a very natural human tendency to pull out a certain color. Meaning, if there's green, and then all of a sudden you throw a black spot in there, I go straight over there, right? And that's because we love that as humans. It's easy to pick a black spot, but if you have 10 black spots, it's going to be difficult which one to pick, where to look at. The philosophy behind that is to keep it simple. What I mean by that is the bald eagle here is white, of course, and it's not black, but it's brown, it's dark brown. But since there's so much snow falling down at the same exact time, for me to isolate that bird in that frame with the bluish, grayish colors, boom! Your mind doesn't have to think. Your subconscious mind takes you straight to the eagle. When I was shooting this, there was a patch of trees that, had I not moved myself, would be distracting to the eye. I'm saying to myself, okay, there are so many eagles flying. Sooner or later, there will be an eagle coming down here. Lucky for me, it was less than 5 minutes. This bald eagle just came right in. And it was such an easy shot. And it's such an easy shot to even photograph, to even look at, because everything is gray, blue. And then all of a sudden you throw a brown and white thing in there, your eye goes straight to it. Let's look at some other color contrast philosophy compositions, right? So let's look at fashion. I have gone out of my way to really blur the background. I know it's super busy, but the only way I could pull the model out of that is the color and contrast subconscious composition. Because look at her skin tones, look at what she's wearing compared to what they're wearing. They're all white. I did the same theory as the one before with the bald eagle. You pull her out because you have that contrast going on. I'm not speaking about light contrast, I'm speaking about color contrast. Why is your eye going straight to her? Simply because of the color contrast psychology that human beings have. We look at the easiest thing possible, and you should frame your photographs in that way so it becomes easy for your audience. Look at this wildlife color contrast psychology. She's blue and the background is also bluish grayish. Now you will say to me, hey Ijaz, what do you mean? I mean, there's no color contrast here. But yeah, there is. Look at the blue on the bird is so dark compared to the background. Our brain is drawn towards that color because the background is so monotone that your brain is rushing towards the bird. I remember while I was photographing this, I moved myself so I could get that background. Now these backgrounds are not like we get them in the studio, right? Okay, I want to get a white background, I want to get a yellow background, and the background is delivered and you photograph with that. But in the wildlife, your backgrounds are also something that you have to pay attention to. And how do you pay attention to that? You look through your lens and you move yourself. And then you say to yourself, that's where my subject is going to come. If not, at least you have 50% of the photograph already settled, right, in your brain, because you've already gone and said to yourself, that's the background I want. If you just wait for your subject to come in, the subject would come in and the background could be horrible. Your image is not going to work. The color contrast psychology will not work if it is the similar color at the back. And in this case, yes, I had similar colors, and the similar colors were the sky, and I had to move myself in a position where there was a different cloud there. And that's the reason why, if you see that the reflection in the water is a little bit on the silverish side and not on the bluish side. Had it been the bluish side, I wouldn't get this subconscious feeling like I do on this one. I can keep on talking about subconscious composition, but for today I think I'm just going to leave it at these three things. We'll go over other psychology compositions in the future. By the way, I have put together a PDF, 10 habits that one must do before you go out on a shoot, because these 10 steps will change your photographs to just a total different level. I guarantee you. The link is down below in the description. Get your free PDF as a checklist for your next shoot. I'll speak to you guys soon, and thank you.